Set up back here, right over here, Myron. And basically, that's for all the players to use team chat. It's zero latency, really high quality, so they can hear each other really well, even when they're screaming at the top of their lungs.
I always wondered that, how they were able to communicate so well.
Yeah, that's what we've offered this year, and it's been working really well.
Love the carpet, too.
Yeah.
That is just rich.
It's a wonderful color.
Thank you for the tour. Now let's get you guys cheering once again so everybody start making some noise. Woohoo! Oh my gosh, the All-Star match is coming! And now you can hear the difference. Very good. We have one more surprise in store. You've heard us talking about the All-Star match, yes? Who's excited for No Tail? And what about Chuan? Okay, good. Believe us when we tell you, you do not want to miss the All-Star match. If you thought Techies was a big surprise last year, you will not believe what we have up our sleeves for the one tonight. So make sure you're watching. Okay. Oh gosh, something's happening. I want to show you a little bit around the stage. So Myron, if you wouldn't mind panning up. So this is where you see all of the goodness happening. That's where all of the lights and the effects come from. That's about 3 stories of stuff starting from the bottom of the panel there where the screens are. So a lot of work, a lot of effort to make this better. And I hear I can ask for some things on the stage. So we're going to just bear with me. What if I felt like fire? Burning flames of fire. There we go. See? You see it? Okay. Guys, can we do something else? Oh my gosh! No! What else can we show them? Wow! Anything else you got up your sleeve, production? Ah! Okay. Anything less scary? Ooh. Anything else? Okay, that's it. Oh, good. Just, you guys let me know if there's anything behind me, right? No, you would never tell me. I don't believe you. What are you yelling? I can't understand anything. Oh, God. We'll talk later. We'll have a one-on-one. Oh, yeah, let's show the crowd. Can you guys show your caffeinated levels really quick? Oh, and this is the part where the voice says, Game 3! Or something like that. We want to thank you guys so much for being the most amazing community ever. You guys rock. Thank you for making TI5 so fantastic. Are you enjoying it this year? Yes! We're going to continue to make all of you at home feel like you're here watching it with us. That is our job. We're going to make you feel like you're right here, especially when it comes to the All-Star match. Again, you do not want to miss it. Take it from me. I do not exaggerate. I'm going to send it back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Casey, down there. Brilliant. The technology behind this stuff's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, I really like how the soundproof boost, you can't hear the casters. When you're casting, you're like, they just use that purple stuff that costs 100 gold. It really kills a lot of what you can say, and especially the Roshan.
Yeah, absolutely. He may be walking towards a part of the map I'm not allowed to speak about right now, doing something I'm not going to tell you about. Yeah, that's tough. That's really hard. We're going to move on, and we're getting close to our first game of the day, and in the midst of all of that, we talk about MVPs all the time, not MVPs as in Hot 6 and Phoenix versions, but actual players, the most valuable players of the tournament. It's getting to that stage now. We've had enough games to kind of get a feel for it. So I wanted to get an idea from all of you, if you've got someone in mind for the MVP of the tournament. I've got a short list that both myself and Mad have put together. There's 10 on it. I'm pretty sure all of you are going to pick some of these guys, but I'm going to start with Malini.
Aggressive, probably. I think he's shown that he is the carry that can help his team the most. And he's like integrated into the team as opposed to like a separate part.
Right.
That's not fair. I wanted to say.
You can say aggressive as well. You're in Team Malini today. That's fine.
Yeah, for me it's aggressive because he's been like creating a trend where the carries have to join the fight. Otherwise, you're going to lose all the early game fights. So
for me, it's pretty simple. FY. I mean, amazing Rubik play. Probably for me the best plays that I've seen this tournament. Is hands down FY for me.
Okay.
And I pick Arteezy for this tournament so far. I think his performances, they've always been like super stable. He's played mid and he completely dominated. He's played carry, he dominated. He played heroes such as Luna. We're not really used to see Luna on Arteezy at least, and it wasn't really a Luna lineup, so he had a role that was really difficult to execute in my opinion, and he did amazingly well, so hands down.
I'm glad you guys kind of picked up on aggressive as well. CDEC have had an amazing journey all the way through. I think we should take a look at it in a little more detail. Of course, coming through Chinese qualifiers, we weren't entirely sure what that was going to be like. eHome taking that one. That forced CDEC to go into the wild card as well. And from there, I think Toby put it brilliantly yesterday when he said they've had the roughest road that they could possibly have had. I mean, it could probably have been made harder by dumping them down into the lower bracket of this part of the main event as well, I suppose, if you want to make it really hard. But just talk us through their run.
I think it really helps that they played through the wild card and then the group stage. Like, you know, when you're playing in this big tournament, I think you'd much rather just be playing Dota instead of watching all the teams studying, because that's not normally what you're doing. When you're practicing and you're practicing leading up to the months of TI, you're not inspecting every single replay. You're trying to get a better feel for the patch and get a better feel for how you can work well with your team. And I think it's no surprise that, you know, they play the most games, but on top of that, they just seem the most prepared and the most adapted to 6.84.
Any additions to that, Winter?
I think another important point is when you go through the wildcards, you know you can do it. You have the confidence. You don't want to just come here. Okay, we're just going to play in the event, and you just want to come here and do your best. But winning the wildcard gives them a lot of confidence.
And what we said yesterday as well, I think you come off a high. You don't really have any expectations because as a wildcard team, making it to the main event was your goal prior to TI. I mean, winning it all would be nice as well, of course, but your focus is to get through the wildcard matches. So they're playing without limitations, and they're just showing that they're so strong. And it's actually kind of interesting to know that if eHome would have won yesterday against EG, it would have been the the qualifier finals again as winners bracket finals, and that's just crazy, actually.
Yeah, it would have been amazing to have all those qualifier teams at that far in the tournament.
Yeah.
We would have got top two. I mean, out of the top three, 2 qualifier teams. I think it's insane. It says a lot about how tough the competition is this year. I don't think anyone could have predicted that.
Yeah, quality's definitely gone up every year, isn't it? I mean, without any disrespect to the former champions, every year it gets harder and harder because there is a wider player pool, a wider team pool. So this year the gap seems to be much smaller this year. Is that fair?
Definitely. And I think also everyone's getting better, so the difference now comes on a lot to... and we've had a bit of everything in that tournament in the sense that you have the team that's not afraid of losing. That's something you need to have if you want to do well. You have the team that it was MVP. I think they were like, well, we don't even understand that CI. We just come into the game and we just play our best and we have fun. Having fun is a big part of it. It really is. Not being afraid of losing, having fun, striving for, like, going for the best, for the top one, all those, you know, psychological aspects are very important.
Yeah, I think the thing I got out of most of the commentary and the interviews from some of the players that are playing in the teams that weren't or weren't expected to do very well. MVP, particularly March, has said it. Complexity have said it, and I think CDEC have said it as well. They're playing with no fear, and those three kind of are shining examples for that kind of play.
To be honest, everybody is playing without fear apart from EG. I had to say it. I'm sorry.
That was a good one. I liked it.
I'm going to give it 7 out of 10.
Oh, that's actually quite decent. Thank you.
I thought that was pretty punny. That's pretty good. Winter's still sitting there thinking, I have no idea what you're talking about.
What was the joke about? Wait, fear, EG?
Talking of fear, would he feature in the top 10? Has he had a good tournament? Because it feels like he has.
He's always been very stable. He never loses it for his team.
Yeah, I guess he just got overshined by Sumail a lot.
Yeah,
but he's been really stable.
And Sumail would be in that top 10, surely.
Yeah.
Some of the games I know he's blown a little bit hot and cold. Some of the first games he had seemed to be a bit quieter, but he's won games almost single-handedly as well.
To me, really, to say that Sumail is one of the best, I think his potential is definitely up there. Maybe maybe the best. Like when he has a good game, his easily, to me, top 3 in this international, maybe even further.
And that's
But when he
incredible
has-
at such a young age. And,
Yeah,
and
it
relative
really
inexperience.
is. But I have to say, if I want to be fully honest, that's the way I see it. When he gets, shut down early on, I haven't seen Sumail have a high impact with very little. He's not going to be that, I don't know, let's say that Lina that just has power threads and not even a Yules, 15 minutes in, tries to run around and can do the difference. He's going to go, get his farm, and then start, going for moves.
In a year from now, he could be the best player in Dota 2, couldn't he?
He could easily be.
Yeah, lots of potential, lots of ceiling. Some of the other players that we picked out, CTY has had a great tournament so far. Maybe is on that list as well. Silent, Burning, QO even has had some phenomenal games for MVP Phoenix.
All core players.
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting point to say, that every one of those core players, the only reason they can perform is because they have a good support system behind them, a good support duo.
Absolutely.
Good offlaner to create the space they need. And it's really tough to try and get that balance right, to know which player actually made sure that this player could be at the top of their game.
Yeah, I mean, FY and Fenrir as a partnership is phenomenal, and I think they've started to show their greatness again, certainly in the last game that they played.
Definitely, I chose them as my MVP of the tournament, and that's not going to stop next series. I'm really looking forward to seeing them play again.
People say a lot that at this level in top teams, what's going to make the difference is going to be the support players, because the core players are so stable, and they just do what they have to do, and they do what they're expected to do. Whereas support players, especially in the early game, it's a bit more random. It comes more to their own individual decision making.
Okay, we're showing the top 5 core heroes behind you right now. Gyro, Queen of Pain's on there, Lena's on there. Anything in terms of the way that we've seen the meta play out through the tournament? There are no massive surprises in there, are there?
For me, Queen of Pain being up there, and as well as Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend so far in the main event, 25% win rate?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 for
very
9. It's not that great. Queen of Pain, 27%, 3 for 8.
She hasn't been picked a lot, I recall yesterday. LGD has been ignoring him, CDAC has been ignoring
VP
her.
picked it a lot, but besides them, I don't think it has.
Yeah.
Okay, we are almost ready for our first game of the day. As you probably heard, the horn has sound, so we'll get into our first games. Our first game, of course, of the day in the lower bracket, and we'll start off with MVP Phoenix. Now, they've had the man who said it all, and he's roared it all as well. Here's March.
When did you all arrive?
2 days ago.
Okay. And what have you been doing since you got here?
Just playing Dota,
Yeah.
practicing, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what the practice sessions have been like for your team leading up to the international.
We're actually in a kind of bad region where we get a delay playing against Chinese or C teams. So we spend a lot of time playing against our brother team, MVP Hot Six. We scrimmed a bunch of games, and then some fair amount of games against Chinese teams as well, yeah.
That's interesting you bring that up, because that's something I find fascinating. Gaming is huge in South Korea, but Dota, not so much.
Not really.
What made you decide to play Dota?
Well, I used to live in Canada, and then so it was big. Dota was big, and then
Right.
and then I was into Dota. I was playing competitive, and then I finished my school, so I had to go back to Korea. And when I went back, I figured out there's gonna be a Dota team, so I joined up, and then here I am.
Well, and you've been, from what I understand, you've been a true leader of bringing Dota to the masses. You've really taken on a leadership role. Why has that been so important to you?
Well, it's a game I love, and then I just wish it could be big in Korea. So I know last year when we first made it to the TI for the wildcard, the number of the people playing Dota increased a lot. So if I do well in TI, and then I guess it means there will be more people interested in Dota, and then hopefully more teams. So Dota is much more competitive in Korea, and then there will be more